What's up, everybody? Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you. It is Magic Game Day, and the Miami Heat are in the house tonight. Magic finishing up this 3-game homestand, hoping to make it a winning homestand, coming off an L on Wednesday against the San Antonio Spurs. I've buried the lead long enough. It's Paolo Banchero's return tonight. He will play. We don't know exactly how much he will play, but he will play tonight for the first time in 10 games, coming off that groin injury. P is back. And I think everybody is excited to see Paolo Banchero exactly what he has. Not quite like last season when he missed 34 games with that oblique injury. Much less to adjust to as far as getting back on the floor. So I would expect to see a minutes limit tonight, but hopefully not too much of one and hopefully not too long for that minutes limit. This will be the, 71st time we've seen the Miami Heat? I think
Just
so
about.
far
It feels like that way.
Chrissy, 2 preseason matchups that, of course, spanned Puerto Rico and here at Kia Center. We'll be down in Miami beginning in January. We've got 2 more matchups with them, obviously, in Miami. Those are the originally scheduled matchups. How many do we have so far?
If you're counting the games that we have to play still.
Yes.
So 2 preseasons.
2 preseasons.
1 here at Kia Center.
1 here at Kia Center to open
tonight.
up the game. The 1 here tonight.
The 1 on Tuesday.
Tuesday back here at Kia Center.
2 more
and
in Miami.
2 more.
That's 7.
And then what happens if we see these guys in the playoffs? That will be a best of 14 potentially when all is said and done. But look, it feels good when you get a win. It feels really good when you get a win over the Miami Heat. And that was what happened on opening night. That was a 125-121 dub. Norman Powell scored 28 points that night. So certainly you want to keep your eye out for that guy. He is back. Missed the Heat's loss in Dallas the other night, but he's back. Tyler Hero is out tonight. We'll get your status report, your ins and outs coming up soon. But, Chrissy, I skipped shoot-around this morning. I have a whole lot of things to do with a 2.5-year-old, and it being Christmas season, I didn't realize that it was already December.
Got to get your Christmas shopping done, Jake. Mine's been done since October.
Well, okay. Do you have a 2.5-year-old?
No.
Those things change all the time. I've got a list that is ever-changing, and then I have to get information relayed to me from my wife. Anyways, you were down there. What did Coach Mosley and Paolo have to say about what we have going on here tonight?
We buried the lead. Both Coach and Paolo spoke today earlier this morning, and it was a lot about Paolo Banchero coming back. Coach Mosley saying it was critical and crucial to have him back, just the impact he has on this roster. The guys are excited to have him back there with his brother. I think the biggest thing that he said was right at the end when he was talking about the players coming back is that they can finally put it all together. Because you think about the beginning of the year when those first 6-12 games that Paolo Banchero played, Jalen Suggs was coming back from his injury. You're integrating Desmond Bane and Tyus Jones. You're trying this new faster pace adaptation, and then it felt like things were finally starting to come together, and P5 goes out for 10 games. So now you're going to have him back, get him back working into the lineup. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And Paolo Banchero, he is excited. He said he's only been out for 10 games. He feels like he's been out for 50. It has been the tale of 2 halves, I feel like, since Paolo Banchero's been out, and now he's coming back in. This team is rolling for the most part, and he's willing to come in and just add on to that momentum.
Team was 5-6 when he went down. They ended up winning that game in New York. That was on his 23rd birthday. They've gone now 7-3 since, and 8-3 if you do include that win against the Knicks. With that said, Paolo Banchero, when he's in the starting lineup, the Magic's starting 5, even with a 5-6 record, is the top net rating in the league if you put a minimum of 100 minutes on it. A 19.3 net rating, the starting 5 that we'll see tonight with Jalen Suggs, with Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, Wendell, of course, and with Paolo in there. So I think we saw at the beginning of the season a little bit of an adjustment period, as you mentioned, Chrissy, getting Desmond Bane worked in and ingratiated. Obviously, we saw over the course of the last week or two, Des is very comfortable at this point. So now it's just kind of a matter of plopping Paolo on top, I think, offensively. And as we get to my storylines for tonight, that's the first thing we're going to keep an eye on. No, it's not going to be this long sort of ramp-up return to competition reconditioning like we see with injuries that last 20, 25, 30 games like Paolo and even like Franz last season. It's a 10-game absence. Paolo saying this morning he was very comfortable with everything that he's been able to do. I know everybody is always trying to track, did you do contact, did you do non-contact, was he involved with shoot-arounds, X, Y, and Z. The bottom line is Paolo said that he has done everything that he will do in a game. He missed 10 games. But I think you want to make sure that you're cautious. You do have, especially coming off, you've got a game on Sunday, an early afternoon game, and then you've got that big matchup on Tuesday night. And then whatever's going to happen after that, whether you win and head to Vegas, you're going to get a couple days off. So I would think that's kind of a natural break point. You sort of ramp his minutes up heading in to the tournament or into the makeup game, whatever happens on Tuesday night. I'm not going to venture a guess as to what Paolo's minutes are going to look like tonight, but obviously that's going to be the first storyline we have our eye on. Does he start the game? I think we'll probably find out from Coach Mosley coming up in 10 minutes. I would expect him to. I think it doesn't make a ton of sense to bring him off the bench. But are you talking about 20, 25 minutes? I would think somewhere around there will be that minutes limit, and then hopefully you're able to lift that coming up sooner than later. Miami Heat have been one of the surprise teams of the league, 14-8 this season. It wasn't long ago I was sitting on Magic Insiders with Dante, Chrissy, and I was saying, you know what, I'm going to lower the ceiling on the Miami Heat this year. But after those preseason games and after game number 1, it just felt like they didn't necessarily, okay, maybe they deviated a little bit from the identity, chasing Norm Powell and kind of chasing offense over the course of the summer. Can they get this group of guys to defend at the level that Erik Spoelstra is used to? Yes, yes, and yes. This is Erik Spoelstra's masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. He's an insane coach. He's so good. But to have this group and to be basically having everybody sort of outkick their coverage, like you're getting probably better performances than several people expected from Khalil Bear, from Pelle Larsson, Jaime Jaquez with a big bounce-back season now in year 3. Jovic is a very good young player, and he's had to deal with injury. Davion Mitchell was basically left for dead as far as Sacramento went. He's starting, he's dishing out assists and playing defense. We talk a lot about Heat culture. To me, it boils down to Erik Spoelstra putting guys in positions to succeed. He is absolutely one of the best. And this Miami Heat team, you know, it's sort of lost in the shuffle because we're so focused on the Magic and their shift offensively. This is one of the best offensive rated teams in the league. This is the top team in the league as far as pace goes. This is the second rated team in the league as far as fast break points go. This Miami Heat team has absolutely surprised across the league, and they come in tonight arguably with a little bit of revenge in mind after the Magic able to squeak out a win, 125-121. A couple big offensive rebounds in that game late. That's one big key that we know Erik Spoelstra and his guys are going to be locked in on. But this Miami Heat team has absolutely surprised teams across the league. Won't have Tyler Hero tonight, as we mentioned, but Norman Powell has been a fantastic fit. He had 28 on opening night, Chrissy.
Yeah, and I think that just gives more credit to Erik Spoelstra. Jeffrey Falaka on Facebook said the Heat are well coached. This is going to be tough, and it's any time you're playing the Miami Heat. It's a division rival game. Obviously, the two teams in state battling against each other, and you mentioned it. This is a team that coming into the season, they played, 6 preseason games, and I don't know if they won a single one of them. It was one of those that nobody really knew what they were going to be coming in. Obviously, the injury situation, but Erik Spoelstra has been able to coach this team that whoever comes in and fills in is able to just adapt to that pace right away. You mentioned the stats are right there. One of the best teams in pace, points, rebounds, assists, you name it, they're basically top 10 in a lot of those offensive stats. And so are the Magic too. This is going to be one of those games. If you like speed and you like scoring, I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a big key. Coach Mosley said today, their rat race pace. He said, don't get caught up in the rat race, is the way he referred to it, which is good advice to anybody trying to work and manage a family, et cetera, et cetera. But as far as the basketball application of that, the Miami Heat want to run. They want to turn you over. They're 5th in the league in points off turnovers. The Magic have done an excellent job in the same regard. Look, this is the 2nd and 3rd rated team as far as fast break points go. That, to me, if you had told me that in early October that these two teams would be the top runners in the league or 2 of the top 3, I would have told you you're crazy because it is such a departure from what we've seen from Erik Spoelstra, what we've seen from Coach Mosley as well. The pace has sort of leveled off for us. That water has found its level. The Magic come in tonight. What are they, 10th, I think, in pace right now? 12th. In pace. The Miami Heat are number 1 in pace. They are 2nd, as you mentioned, in points scored. Offensive rating comes back down a little bit because they do push pace so much, generate so many possessions. But that's going to be a huge key tonight is if you're going to run, you have to be smart about it. You can't give the Miami Heat anything easy because we know in the half court it's going to be difficult as well. You're just going to make your job so difficult on yourself if you are fighting to get every bucket in the half court and then gifting them possessions. The possession battle tonight is going to be huge. Rebounding is always huge with this Magic team. I thought that was a bit of a letdown against San Antonio the other night, but we have to generate second possessions on misses with offensive rebounding, and we have to take care of the basketball, Chrissy.
Yeah, absolutely. You said the pace is going to be really important, and this is a team with a lot of driving kick, it's a lot of pick and rolls. It's going to be interesting to see how they're able to adjust, but I think the Magic got a little bit of a good taste on that on Monday against the Chicago Bulls. It wasn't their best game, but they were able to come away with a win, and that was another team that loves to get out and run, get out in transition. And the Magic, even though it wasn't their best performance of the year, they were still able to come in and get that win. So now when you face the Miami Heat, who are even faster than that, at least it gives you a little bit of a warm-up to prepare for this team that you're going to see tonight and then in a few days from now as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It is sort of interesting. I don't think there's any sort of level of we're only going to show you so much tonight because we've got the Cup game coming up on Tuesday. No, this is one of 82, and it's very important for that and that alone. But without having Tyler Hero, who we didn't see on opening night as well, it does sort of change the dynamic a little bit. He has a toe irritation, so I have to think he's not going to miss substantial time. He probably will be in there on Tuesday, but we have not gotten a chance to see Norm Powell and Tyler Hero together, and that is a pretty dynamic duo when you're talking about backcourts and wing scorers. Norman Powell, he had a career year last year. He comes in and he's averaging 25 points a game so far this year for the Miami Heat. He's been very available. This will be his 18th game played, so he's missed a handful of games, but shooting almost 46% from three-point range, nearly 51% from the field, and he's automatic at the free throw line as well, 88.4%. I'm guessing you're going to see Jalen Suggs start on him. I think Anthony Black probably gets a nice turn, Desmond Bane as well. You've got plenty of size to throw at Norm Powell, but this is a guy who has just been on the ascent basically for the last 5 or 6 seasons, going all the way back to his time in Toronto, then Portland, Los Angeles, and now here. The Heat went and got this guy in the offseason. They had him circled, and it's Heat culture, it's defense first, et cetera, et cetera. That guy they knew would be a good fit, and he has been so far. You have to slow him down tonight. Another 28, and you're kind of playing with fire, I think.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult because you think about all the other guys around him. They have 7 guys that are averaging over 10 points a game. Now, we won't see Tyler Hero. You mentioned he's out with that toe injury. I believe from what I saw from Iron Windeman earlier this morning that he was going to get an MRI on Saturday. So that could be some substantial news there to finding out how long he's going to be out. But there's a lot of different guys that you don't have to, if you try and slow down Norman Powell, you got to slow down Bam Adebayo as well. You got to slow down Jaime Jaquez Jr. Khalil Ware led the team in scoring in their last game. So there's a lot of different guys who can beat you up on this Miami team. And I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier. The rebounding is going to be key. You can't give them second chance opportunities, and you got to get second chance opportunities for yourself as well, especially if you're not shooting maybe at a high frequency. In the last 2 games we saw with the Magic, maybe not doing as well from the 3 ball, but if they're getting those second chance points, getting to the line also could be a big factor here tonight. It could make itself a really interesting game.
It's the injury report for Miami is insane. I don't know why we have to have 7 guys on here and they're all listed as available. I'm not sure I'm going to go through all of it, but everybody's got something going on. It's just Miami, I think, just listed like, oh, does your finger hurt? Okay, we're going to put it on the injury report. It's just it's
that time of the year, Jake. It's that time of the year.
Well, exactly. Everybody's tired, but I'm not going to put myself on the injury report with the bruised voice box or whatever it is I got going. All right, let's check out some of these comments here. They are pouring in. I think we've got a whole bunch of nickname talk.
I did see that.
Prince Paolo. Jake, does Prince Paolo of the Magic Kingdom pass the nickname check? It's not. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm not sure that I'm going to necessarily take it, J Curve, so you can run with it. I do like the Magic Kingdom sort of tie-in as well, but I'm not sure if I have the mental capacity right now to assign different levels of royalty to the different players. Like, then what's Franz? Is he like the chancellor or something like that? It just feels like I'll get way too deep in the woods as far as that goes. But what we do know is that whether or not you want to call him the prince or not, P5 is back tonight, and hopefully back for good. What else is happening here in these comments? Anything going on over there? Where are you? What do you got? TikTok up?
I've been flipping between Facebook, TikTok,
Oh, you
YouTube.
love Facebook. That's your favorite.
Yeah, I like Facebook.
Facebook big with the kids.
Yes, very big with my age population. TikTok right now has a ton of comments. I'm not sure if there's a reason why. Just a lot of different things. Play the song, get the win tonight. It's going to be a really exciting game, and I feel like this is both of these teams are very different from the beginning of the year, and I think that's going to be really interesting. This is a good litmus test, maybe to see where the Magic are at this point in the season, because you saw the pace increase a little bit for this team. You saw the defense get better. They had that stumble against the Spurs on Wednesday, but now you're going against a team in your division on the Eastern Conference, a very good team. Can they match up? Can they get the win is going to be crucially important. And I'm looking at some comments right now. Pregame, whose minutes shrink with Paolo coming back? That'll be Tristan De Silva will go off and he'll slide into the 6-man position. But
Yeah.
he played well in that first half against the Spurs, and I think him coming off the bench is going to help a lot as well.
For sure. I was Tristan, by the way, knocked down 2 threes the other night. His minutes over the last 10 games with Paolo out, right around 27. For the season, he's averaging about 23, so I would expect that to look a little bit closer to 20 minutes per game. I think you're able to, like Franz has been playing heavy minutes, so obviously you're able to get a little bit more of a blow for Franz, for Desmond, for the guys who are playing up around 34 minutes a night. And then when you look down the bench, I think you do have an opening there where maybe – I shouldn't say an opening there. You might have to take some of the minutes that were being afforded to Jonathan Isaac, to Noah Penda, or maybe to Goga, depending on how you want to mess with your lineups. I think probably everybody's minutes get bit into a little bit. Obviously, Tristan comes out of the starting lineup, but even Anthony Black, who's been playing up around 28, 29 minutes a night with Paolo out, I could see him having to, sacrifice a little bit. But obviously, what you hope for is that for Tristan, for AB, for guys who have not played that full dosage of minutes for extensive stretches in their career, they're able to take better advantage of the minutes that they are getting. Hasn't been an issue certainly for AB, but Tristan, I think we've seen kind of sort of step back, or at least come down a little bit from the hot streak he was on when he first slid into the starting lineup. Coach Mosley coming up here momentarily. We'll send you down to the media room when we get to him. You're hearing from Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall. We're up on the radio deck, and we're getting set for the Magic, the Miami Heat tonight. 6:30 will be the start for our pregame broadcast with Brandon Kravitz. You can hear us here in Central Florida on 96.9 The Game, our flagship station. You can always stream us on the iHeartRadio app, on the Orlando Magic app as well. And then outside of the listening area, you can check us out on NBA League Audio Pass and on Sirius XM as well. I'm not sure yet if Coach Mosley is speaking. I don't believe he is, because I'm not hearing anything, and I don't see anything on the stream either. Other things to keep an eye on tonight as far as this Miami team is ball movement, which goes back to the point I made at the top about Eric Spoelstra. This team is third in the league in assists. They average over 30 assists per game. And I think you can draft players. Let me hold that thought. We're going to head down right here from Coach Mosley, and then I'll finish my amazing thought on the Miami Heat.
Coach, when you're reintegrating any high usage player like Paolo, what are the challenges of reintegrating, and how much time can it take to fully get that settled out?
With Paolo, he's done such a great job of just continuing to talk to his teammates, with the coaches, and he understands the situation, which is great, and figuring out, the time frame of when he's in, when he's out, but just finding a way to get a rhythm. And I think that's what he understands. But getting him back in the fold, there's going to be moments where it just looks a little different, just because our guys in rotations will be different. But I think he does such a great job of communicating with our guys and the coaches to see exactly how he fits right back into what we're doing.
You said this morning Paolo is on a minute restriction. What are those minutes? With Tristan coming back to the bench potentially, how does that impact that second unit, getting Tristan back? Tristan and I talked today a little bit about it. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a great job he's done. Stepping in that starting role. His confidence, his swagger, the way he's played basketball for us, and Paolo being out has been huge. And now with that second unit, unfolding, it just, gives, that group, more confidence, more spacing on the floor, just his ability to, create plays, as also knock shots down.
Both of these teams tonight have had this focus on trying to increase their pace, get out and transition a lot more. What's the challenge of kind of changing the mindset, especially with both teams having a group that's been pretty established together, playing a certain way? What's the challenge of trying to change that mindset a little bit and think to play faster and maybe do things that they haven't been doing over the last few years?
I mean, it's just finding ways to make adjustments. The league has, gone to faster pace, and are understanding why you're doing it. And I think for us, we've talked about it being able to allow our defense to spark our offense to convert on the other end. But a big portion of it is just, helping guys recognize that it's easier opportunities, getting easy baskets, creating advantages early and before defense can get set. I think that's so important for our teams.
Saw Noah get some run here in the last week or so, and then Noah comes in, or Jace comes in the last game. Just What does it say about those two guys that they could go some time without playing, and then to be able to come in and give you guys a spark like they'd have?
It says so much about them, and I say it all the time. It says so much about our coaches, the ability to keep these guys ready. So whenever their number is called, they're ready to step into a game and perform. And both of those guys provided a great spark for us in a time that it was needed. And so I think it continues to be the message of staying ready. And when your number is called, you're ready to go and do whatever coaches are asking you to do.
You mentioned the other night how you felt that there was only 8 minutes of good basketball. How do you get that from going from 8 minutes to 48, and how do you think the group has responded to that in the locker room?
I think there's a seriousness to knowing what we need to do, how we have to play. The way you approach the game is that you get start up one possession at a time, and you got to focus on those moments and those possessions. You can't look to the end of the game in the beginning. You got to start it, play the first quarter the way you're supposed to, with the energy and effort that you're supposed to come out when games start.
Coach, obviously every game matters, but tonight's matchup is kind of a preview for something more critical next week when you guys face them in the NBA Cup. If you don't put together a 48-minute performance against this team, what can happen? How can they make you pay?
I mean, the pace of the game, they've put up 140 plus a few times this season. So their ability to get out in transition, get quick shots, make quick decisions, attack the basket to get downhill. And if they're knocking shots down, they pose a major problem. Spo's always done an incredible job defensively to be disruptive and have you always on your toes. But again, tonight's tonight, and we'll work about the cup next week.
Yeah, kind of follow up on that. I was going to ask you, are you looking at this differently? What, I guess, to pivot off what I was going to ask you, how do you view the cup? Has it been a positive so far for you? And what's your thoughts on what you've learned from your team during the process?
Yeah, I think the cup is great. That added bonus at the end. Depending on if you get it or not for winning, gives something to these guys with that extra competitive edge in each one of these games. As for the next week, to that point, that's next week. We've got 2 games prior to that, and so we want to make sure we take care of tonight, and then we'll worry about the cup when it comes.
Everyone good?
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right, Chrissy Birdsall, there he is, Magic head coach Jamal Mosley. Welcome back. It's Magic Game Day. Jake Chapman, Chrissy Birdsall here with you up on the radio deck. We'll take you up to 5:30. Then we'll send you down to the floor as we get set for the Magic and the Miami Heat matchup number 4, if you include the preseason. And eventually we're going to get to 7 if you include the Emirates NBA Cup game coming up on Tuesday, the preseason, and then all 4 regular season matchups. After New Year's, we'll go down to Miami twice. I think late January, if I recall, will be our first matchup down at Kaseya Center. Okay.
I know one guy who's a little bit excited about that. Bam Adebayo told Ira Winderman this morning at shoot-around, it feels like we're always here.
Yeah.
And I you know what? I don't even blame him.
Jason Jackson just said the exact same thing to me.
Yeah. It's a second home here.
And they got to go back home, play the Sacramento Kings or something this weekend, and then come on back on Tuesday for Tuesday's game on Monday. So at least it's not, it's like an up and down flight. If you want to drive, you can manage that. If you want to take the bright line, you could do that as well. Comments coming in. Coach Mosley talked a moment ago. I thought it was an interesting question Phil asked about sort of the philosophy change during the summer, during the offseason, and in training camp for both of these teams, and figuring out how to balance it, because Miami, for as long as I can remember, has been based and rooted in defense. That goes back to the mid to late 90s with when Pat Riley was the head coach. Eric Spoelstra has obviously continued that tradition. They're one of the best defensive organizations year in and year out. But in today's NBA, you have to make adjustments. And I think Spo trusted that he's got a defensive backbone with his roster, much like Jamal Mosley did. How do you turn D into O, as I always talk about on the broadcast? And both of these teams have been able to do this. And this goes back to what I was saying before, is Miami not only has been able to do this, they've adjusted to the top-paced team in the league. They don't turn the ball over. They're 3rd in the league in assists. They're 3rd in the league in turnover percentage. So to just snap your fingers and say, okay, we're gonna generate 10 more possessions a game, or maybe not quite that many, but we're gonna get out and go. We're gonna be a transition team to be able to still defend at a top 5 rate like Miami does, and then to be able to get out and scoot and not cough the ball up night in and night out. That gets down to the personnel that you bring in, but that's Eric Spoelstra and, in my opinion, the Heat coaching staff. I mean, this team is able to make changes like that and not suffer, the bumps in the road that you see. I think that's pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, more stops, more opportunities, I feel like, is kind of what the league has been turning into. And some teams a little bit more defensive-minded. That's something that the Magic have always prided themselves on, at least in the last couple of years. And going back to that identity, I feel like earlier in the year, it was all about adjusting that pace, getting more opportunities. But now they're using their defense to generate that offense. And you talk about it in the broadcast all the time, that those stops are really important, and then being able to get out, run, and convert is the other side of it too.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on certainly that tonight. Fast break points; these are two of the top 3 teams in the league as far as fast break points go. Points in the paint, also they're second, we're third, and that gets down to this: drives. The Magic are first in the league in points off drives. Obviously, picture Desmond Bane, picture Franz Wagner, and then of course getting P back. Miami is third in the league in drives. They get 32.4 points per night off drive. So interior defense going to be huge tonight, whether that's Bam, whether that's Wendell. Goga's been defending the rim very well as of late, staying in front of your man, guarding your yard. As we mentioned, that's not just in transition. That is within the half court. You need to stay in front of ball handlers who are attacking the rack, because that's what both teams like to do. And then here's another little interesting one. Most points per game in the first quarter this year. Miami is first, averaging just under 33 points per first quarter. The Magic are fifth at 31 points per game per first quarter. I feel like whoever gets out to a good start tonight, especially with Paolo working his way back in, with the energy you're going to feel in the building, you have already experienced it, but there's always plenty of Heat fans here when they're in town, of course. It's not that long a drive, and they've had more historical success, quite frankly, than we have, so we understand why, but we need to take those guys out of it. I don't want to hear any of that nonsense for 48 minutes tonight. The first quarter tonight, I think whoever gets off and kind of captures the juice within the arena is going to get a leg ahead and going to have a leg ahead. So I think that was something that I felt like is starting to slip the last couple games. Even if you go back to Chicago, yeah, you were able to win that game. Magic had been getting off to really good starts. I think I think you noticed the other night you really missed Paolo Banchero in that San Antonio game. The starters just didn't feel like they had it, especially defensively. You're only down 2 after 1, but San Antonio put 31 points on the board in the first quarter of that game. So I think the score at the end of 12 minutes tonight will be a good indicator.
Yeah, and I think that's where you'll see a lot of Paolo Banchero, too, in the beginning. So seeing how quickly he's going to integrate back with the team, how that chemistry is going to work. And you were talking about it before we sent it down to Mosley, was the ball movement. It was really important. It felt like there was a stretch of a few games right when they were starting to get on the win streak where that ball was popping around the court. And it felt like the offense was playing really well because they were able to move, get in space, make those opportunities for one another, and they were able to convert them as well. And I feel like that's been the one part of the game that if Paolo Banchero can come back, continue that trend in the assists. He was doing really well at spreading the ball before he went out with the injury, and the team's been able to just pick it up since he's been injured. If he can come back and continue that good vibes, I think that'll be a really big key for the Magic tonight as well.
It's a good point because some of the criticism and some of the idea that the Magic are able to thrive without Paolo is rooted in the idea that Paolo Banchero is a ball stopper, and to me, he's like anything but. Like, yeah, he's a tough shot maker, and check his postseason stats if you want to see what happens when defenses tighten up and you need somebody to make long twos. But Paolo, in the 11 and a half games that he played before the injury, was averaging 5 less shots per game than last season. His assist numbers were a little bit down, but his turnovers were down as well. His percentages were up, 46% from the field. That's a point higher. He also was rebounding and blocking shots better than he ever has. And his usage was down. So I think the idea that Paolo needs the ball and the offense is going to bog down with Paolo out there. That was why you made all of these moves in the offseason, was to make things easier on Paolo Banchero so he doesn't feel like he needs to dribble it 4 or 5 times and raise up for a long two. So we did have a question about what kind of Paolo do I expect to see tonight. That is from Fabio. Do you think he'll be aggressive, or will he wait for the opportunities that the game will give him? Fabio says, I think Paolo should be very calm, wait for chances the game will give him. I have a feeling that's going to be the case because of what we just said. Paolo sees that the team, was able to at least hit a stride offensively with him out. Largely that was contingent on the ball moving, as we always talk about. It also was contingent on defending and getting out and getting easy points in transition. The whole pace conversation that we were having right about it sort of subsided right as Paolo went down.
Yep.
It felt like we were starting to figure that out, how to let your defense help your offense and how to protect the ball in transition, not cough it up and kick it around the gym. The Magic, by the way, are the lowest turnover rate in the NBA in transition. So the Magic are running, but they're also not turning the ball over. I expect Paolo to kind of feel his way into it tonight. He certainly doesn't want to come out and just be hijacking the offense and getting a million shots up in his first couple minutes. He wants to get everybody else involved. We saw that at the beginning of the season, him sort of playing more of an offensive hub type of role. And so I would not expect him to come out and be uber aggressive. I think he'll probably try to get everybody else going, find his spot, find his legs, and especially against a team like Miami, you don't want to come out and make things easy on them. Keep working the ball, especially in the half court, and go from there.
Yeah, use those first 12 minutes, figure out where the hot hand was. The last couple of games, it was Desmond Bain. Everyone always seems to forget that Franz Wagner is putting up quietly like 25 points a game at this point in the season. He's been playing so well and does not get talked about nearly enough because I think we just expect it from him at this point. But another guy who likes to pass it around, wait for his shot to open up, and then start making moves in transition. But there is one thing. I know Dante Marchitelli is going to love this. With P5 in the lineup, starting lineup, they have the best net rating of a starting five, minimum 100 minutes played. So yes, Paolo Banchero, the team was playing well, but this team is better when Paolo Banchero is in the lineup, and we'll see that tonight.
Yeah, 19.3 is that net rating, and the team was, or this starting lineup, I should say specifically, is 4-5. But as we mentioned, that was sort of before you kind of figured it out. They were playing very well, even still with a 4-5 record. The net rating illustrates that. And once you were able to clean up the turnovers, oh, by the way, Paolo Banchero averaged, over 7 free throws a game? That's something that has come down. Magic still lead the league in free throw attempts per night, but you've seen that sort of back off and cool down a little bit. With Paolo out, that's going to be a huge key tonight as well, getting to the free throw line and then knocking them down. And it should be a good basketball game. I think, as Chrissy mentioned, it's a little bit closer to the style the Bulls want to play than the style the Spurs did play on Wednesday. Sometimes I think that suits us well, but turnovers will be a big key tonight. You obviously got to make sure you limit Norman Powell. I have a feeling whoever wins the fast break points battle tonight will win the game. And then, oh, by the way, Bam Adebayo is a pretty darn good player as well. 4 double-doubles for Bam against the Magic going back to the beginning of the 2023-24 season. The dude is basically a walking double-double, so should be a good matchup with Wendell Carter Jr., Bam Adebayo down low as well. Chrissy, any final thoughts?
I think both these teams coming off a loss, a lot riding into this. I think Coach Mosley summed it up perfectly. They're both focused on tonight. Yes, everyone knows what's going to happen a few days from now here at the Kia Center, but let's focus on tonight. Tonight's going to be a good game. It's going to set up really well for the rest of the weekend, and I'm expecting it to be high-flying fireworks. Yeah,
Miami, New York, Miami. That's your next three. So certainly the competition ratcheting up just a little bit, and the Miami Heat, I always say, winning any game in the NBA is fun and valuable. Beating the Heat feels like it counts for 2 or 3 wins because the best feeling at the end of the game, especially when we're at home here at Kia Center, is getting to send all the fans in blue and black home with a dub and all the fans in whatever color the Miami Heat wear home with an L. And then we get to get on the postgame show and rub it in their faces a little bit. She's Chrissy, our graduate associate, Chrissy Birdsall. My name is Jake Chapman, radio play-by-play host for the Orlando Magic. We will have the Magic and the Heat beginning at 6:30, 96.9 The Game, our flagship station here in Central Florida. You can stream us on the Orlando Magic app, on the iHeart Radio app as well. And you can always check us out outside of the listening area on SiriusXM or on NBA League Audio Pass. We're going to send you down to the floor and watch Jalen Suggs warming up a little bit. Jonathan Isaac shooting free throws as well. Magic Heat coming up. We'll talk to you guys on next Tuesday from up here on the radio deck as the Heat make their return. Go Magic.
Sipping out Apes, no condiments. From Barranquilla, no argument. She going hard like a gallo. Don't care what they say, hell if I know. I'm chilling with babe with my eyes closed. Got the champagne with my blindfolds. I'm on a flight in Miami, chopping and dripping with Moochie the family. Dry top when I dry down, like the hella savage like I'm Randy. I'm on 1,000, living my life like I don't get no hoots about plan Bs. My life something like a Tahoe, yours something like a Camry, yeah.
All right, we have a fun game for you. It is who said it. So who said it? So you have to guess. I'm gonna name some things or read some quotes. These are quotes from your teammates, and you have to guess who said it.
This is like post-game quotes or something?
It's a mix of everything.
Okay.
Yeah. They're funny ones though too. So don't worry. We got you. All right. Fun fact, I'm the best chef on the Orlando Magic basketball team.
I'm the best chef.
Yes.
It's either somebody that's just lying through their teeth or somebody that's actually telling the truth that can cook. I'm the best chef. Who's the best chef? I'm going to go and say it was Tristan.
No, it was Desmond. Even though
he's a dad. Yeah. He probably do have to cook. He's a new guy.
He's like also like he said he wasn't good at it either though. I think that's like what I also heard too. So it's kind of funny for him to say that, even though he's not.
Okay, Des.
Yeah, right. And we'll expect him to
Des look like he'd get on the grill.
That's what I think he says he does.
He'd get on the grill. That doesn't surprise me.
There we go. This is my favorite one. I'm really, really scared of snakes. They're just kind of like dragons.
That sounds like something Jet would say.
It does sound like something Jet would say. It was actually Franz.
Franz? That's Franz, yeah. 1 for 2.
I know. It's okay. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. We're going to get you together. Okay, here we go. I don't think I can sing. Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Oh, oh, oh. That's another dub. Man, we don't lose at the crib.
That's Jalen.
That is Jalen. 1000%. Sure. You got that one right. Yeah. You got that one. Okay. Dating advice? I've never dated.
Dating advice? I've never dated?
Yeah. Jimmy, give you a hint.
Was it Goga?
Yeah.
That just is Goga right there. Like, I don't know. I've never dated. That's something he would say.
It's very much something he would say. Okay, wait. All right. In high school, we played on Fridays, and one of my favorite movies was Friday the 13th. I remember somebody was guarding me, and I was like, yo, it gets scary on Fridays.
What?
Think Friday about the number I just said.
Was that Jet?
Yeah.
It gets scary on Fridays.
And that's what he said. Okay. We've got the freshest uniforms in the league. I want everyone to know that.
That might have been me.
That was you.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you were going to get that. I was scared for a second.
No, that was me. I stand on that. For sure.
I love that. All right. Well, Paolo, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the season.
Appreciate you.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. I'm your host, Kendra Douglas, a team reporter for the Orlando Magic. And welcome to tonight's game. I'm so excited. The Magic will be playing the Miami Heat. Feels like it's the 25th game that they've played this team, but you can catch that game on FanDuel Sports Network, your home for the Orlando Magic, and then lock in with the pregame show at 6:30. I don't know if you can see behind me. If you guys were already watching, because I already saw the comments, Paolo Banchero is warming up on the court. That's what we love to see. We're going to get talking about that in a minute, but I want to get to some of your comments. Don't forget, this is a chat, a show that is for you, the fans. We want you guys to talk to us. We want you guys to interact with us. You already have, and so just keep it going. So let's see, kicking it with Kendra. Yes, love what you guys are saying. So good to have P5 Pat back. Huge division game tonight. One thing that I think we're going to talk about is, even though the team won't look at it, but this is an opportunity for us to talk to you about it, just how important tonight's game is going to be, because they're going to play this team again come Tuesday when it goes to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. So I want to get your thoughts on how important tonight's game is and how important it will be for this team to get off rolling, because they're going to be playing against a Miami team that is doing very well offensively in the league. But first, let's get to it. Paolo Banchero is available for tonight. Head coach Jamal Mosley made that announcement today during shoot-around. He missed 10 games due to that left groin strain that we saw happen in New York. Coincidentally, we're going to New York in a couple days too, so that'll be interesting. But overall, so good to have Paolo Banchero back in the mix, back with this team, and just kind of getting into the groove of things. Desmond Bane's warming up behind us. We got Paolo on the court as well. Just a whole bunch of good stuff going on. Hello to all of you guys. Love that you guys... Prince Paolo, I've never heard of Prince Paolo. That's a new one. Someone just asked me, how do we feel of Prince Paolo of the Magic Kingdom? I think that's a lot. I think we should just stick with P5. I think we like P5. I like where you're going with this. I like the mindset, the idea, but let's just stick with that. But you guys, Paolo spoke today during shoot-around, and he said some really good stuff. So I want us to take a listen to what he had to say, and then we'll recap it when we come back.
Paolo, first off, how are you feeling and how excited are you to have the opportunity to be back on the floor with your teammates tonight?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I've been feeling really good this week. It's only been 10 games, but it feels like it's been 50. So just happy to be back out there and get to run up and down, compete, and yeah, just be out there for the rest of the year.
We talked to you after the injury diagnosis. You said you were hoping not to be gone too long to where your conditioning would get out of shape. How do you feel like your wind is?
I mean, it feels good. I'm sure it'll be an adjustment. I'm sure I'm going to have a lot of adrenaline, but my legs feel very fresh. It's not the same as it was last year where I missed, 30-some games. It's only been 10 games. I've done a ton of testing and running and jumping, dunking, all the movements that I normally do in the game, I've been able to do without any, pain or discomfort. So I'm excited.
I know, like you mentioned, it wasn't the same length of time, but how much did going through last year kind of help you approach how to kind of rehab and get yourself back for this injury, even if it was much short term?
Yeah, it helped. It definitely helped. Just thinking back on my experience last year with the oblique, obviously it was a little more severe. It had to take a lot more time, but just knowing what that felt like and how I progressed, and feeling it with my groin, but in a shorter period of time, just the progression of how I felt. How I worked my way through things and where I'm at right now.
Banchero, who talked earlier today at shoot-around, in good spirits, understanding it is a marathon, not a sprint. The team, they've won 9 of the last 11 games. They're 7-3 without P. And I think what was so good when you heard kind of in his conversation is the guys are having the ability to step up as much as possible, and being able to have that opportunity is so good for this team, because when you talk about the next man up mentality, you also include Paolo in that, but it was good to see Tristan get out there and his swagger. Coach Mosley talked a little bit about that as well. But it is so good to have Paolo Banchero back in the mix with this team. The way that he's able to just help be aggressive on here, the way that he's able to set guys up. That's what you want as we bring in Dan Savage with us. And Dan, we're looking at the highlights. We just saw some of the highlights just now. Talking about Paolo Banchero, Coach Mosley, you asked a really good question of what's it like trying to get a guy back integrated, and you kind of can touch on that a little bit. What can you expect from Paolo Banchero tonight?
First off, awesome to be back, and even more awesome to have Paolo back, because what you want as the season goes along is to progressively play your best basketball as a team. And the only way that this team can hit its ceiling is with Paolo Banchero in the lineup. So to have him back is huge, number one. However, it goes without saying that a guy who is high usage, as impactful as he is, has to be reworked into the lineup. And so you look at the effectiveness of the way he was playing as a scorer, as a rebounder, as a shooter. All those things were getting progressively better. He scored 25 points in 3 of his last 5 games before going down. Had 2 double-doubles, a near triple-double in one of those games. So he's playing so well. And then he goes down after a great start against the New York Knicks, and the team had to re-find itself. So it goes without saying that there's going to be a reintegration process. There's going to be some bumps along the road. But there's no question to me the Orlando Magic ceiling just got a lot higher as Paolo Banchero works his way back in.
I love it. I love it. Someone said Dan with the Sacramento purple on today, but then also Mr. Savage knows his basketball. You really do. You've been able to cover this team for such a long time. So yes, it does. It's going to be great to see him get into a groove. Some comments that you guys are saying are Paolo looks like, let me see, Sunday back at the Magical Square Garden because the team,
I like that.
I like that one.
I like that a lot.
As the team will get back to New York this weekend to take on the Knicks. Someone also said that they are going to the Cup game no matter what.
Nice.
I believe. Love that.
Need a loud crowd for that one. And I heard
right?
between the promotion that you did with FanDuel Sports Network, the exclusive buy one get one offer, and just the excitement for the game, Paolo being back, that game's going fast. So if you want tickets for that one, I just talked with our ticketing people before this. That's one you better jump on now.
Yeah.
Not waste any time.
I completely agree. It's going to be a good one. We kind of are giving you a little bit of a preview of what's happening, too, because the team, they're going to be playing Miami tonight. But before we do talk about Miami, let's talk about this Spurs game. That was a tough one for this Magic squad. But something that someone said, too, and we're going to talk about him a little bit, is the whole
clawed
Jace.
back a number of times there in
and I
the
believe
fourth quarter.
Coach Mosley is oh, here we go. So, yes. So, the Spurs game was a little tough. The turnovers were an issue for this team. Coach Mosley said it himself. They only played good 8 minutes, and that was in the fourth quarter. You wanted to see them be aggressive and start out strong against a team that was coming off the second night of a back-to-back at that. And it feels like they didn't take advantage of their opportunities.
No question. With a team like that, as we talked about on this show, you want to come out and deliver the first blow, because a team that has played 3 games in 4 nights on the second night of a back-to-back, you can take them out of it mentally if you come away and square away with the first punch. And the Magic didn't do that. Instead, they absorbed the first blow from San Antonio. The Spurs built up a belief. And when you let a team like that hold the advantage, even though I thought the Magic outplayed them from mid-third quarter on, Fox, in addition to hitting those 2 key free throws, also hit a couple big threes down the stretch that were tough shots. You allow a team like that with a few special players to have that kind of advantage, and that's the situation you could find yourself in. And so I thought those early quarters were really in the difference in that one. So important that the Magic start off well tonight against a Heat team that wants to play extremely fast.
Yeah, you're right. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. This is your final score, the stats from this game. I mean, the Magic lost just by 114 to 112, just by 2. And I think what stands out to me a lot, of course, is the rebounding was a little different. But I mean, ultimately, they were rebounding in this game. It was just the lack of effort, you could tell, and the turnovers, taking care of the ball. That was just seemed like the biggest issue for this team. And you hope that they learned a lot from that one. One comment that I really like is because we were talking about him. One comment on here says, I hope Jace gets some good minutes, especially after the game he had. They said even last week. I go ahead and say even after the game he had a couple nights ago. The spark in the fourth quarter and that big comeback. Jace Richardson, the way that he has been able to play so far for this team. Mosley was asked about him too, and it was just the mere fact that Coach said, these guys, when their number is called, they're able, they're ready. It's a credit to them. It's a credit to the coaching staff for keeping them prepared. He's just a very effective, efficient player. He plays clean. That's what I like to say. The way he goes about his business is just very clean and efficient, and I like what he's doing.
Now I'm going to zone in on that last word you said there. It was efficient.
Yeah.
Because what you expect out of a young player like that, drafted rookie season later in the draft, you expect him to put up some numbers, but not necessarily do it efficiently. And that's one thing he's done from the jump. He's just a smart basketball player. You could tell he grew up around the game. He makes a lot of high-level plays and high-level reads for a guy who's as young as he is. And even though he may be small in stature, he plays a lot bigger. His willingness to throw around his body, go up for rebounds, get involved in scraps. He is just a heady player, and I think his future is very bright with the Magic. And the one way you could really build your coach's trust is by being efficient, not making mistakes, showing up on the defensive end, and Jace has done that. And I think the fact that Magic head coach Jamal Mosley trusted him late in a game of a very close game that was decided by a possession says a lot about how he's feeling about this rookie player. and shows me that very soon he could be getting more minutes with this Magic team.
Completely agree with that. I also want to ask you, what does it say? I don't want to call it a luxury, but a satisfaction for a coach to be able to have two rookies that he knows he can put in there, and that their mistakes are very minimal, and that they're going to give effort, and they're going to also be efficient when they're on the court.
Well, Paolo touched on that when we talked to him at Shoot Around today, is what stood out to him while he was out and watching the team. And it was really the team's depth, that there were guys up and down this roster. And when you look at some of the guys at the back end of the Magic's bench, Jet Howard, Jace Richardson, Noah Penda, you could all point to stretches over the last 5 to 7 games where each of those players has had a huge impact, not just a little impact, a huge impact. So that just shows a lot about the depth of the Magic's team.
Yeah.
That guys that were not even consistently in the rotation have found ways to make an impact. And as you alluded to, that goes to the players' willingness to stay ready and the Magic's coaching staff for keeping those guys ready.
It sure does. I want to get to some of your comments and someone who I think just tuned in just asked, is Paolo back? So yes, Paolo will be available for tonight's game. He missed 10 games due to the groin injury that happened in New York earlier I forget what month we're in. 10 games ago. So yes, he will be available for tonight's game as people are locking in with us and checking in with us. Oh, I like this one. Penda does not have a rookie mentality. He gets in the game. He gets his shots up. His France league time shows. I like that. It's so interesting, too, because you do have these guys who come from Europe, and the game is totally different. But here's one thing that, I think is always interesting. And I talked with Mo about this when we did our podcast. He said, look, you're 16-year-old playing with like a 21-year-old or playing with a 31-year-old. Your maturity you grow it super fast when you are playing in those types of leagues. I think you're seeing that with a guy like Noah. Also to say, he's been around guys like Victor Wembanyama. He did play against him back when he was younger. A couple of guys from the Wizards he's played against, too, that were also from France. So the maturity is there for a guy like him.
No question, because for a lot of those guys overseas, you're doing it as a profession early on. So there's a different level of requirement. It's not just AAU basketball. It's not, I'm going to college class afterwards. It's, this is my life. I'm getting paid for it. I'm focusing on it right out of the jump. And as you said, you're around guys who are potentially at the tail end of things of their career, and they're imparting that wisdom. So a lot of the lessons that young rookies go through in the NBA, where they're relying on vets, guys in Europe are picking up on that at a young age and gaining those things. And I think by being with guys like that who perhaps tried to come over here and couldn't, or did and then left and went back over there, there's an extra appreciation for what it takes to play at this level. And so Noah Penda is showing all the signs of that.
He sure is. If you're just now tuning in and locking in with us, you're watching Courtside Countdown presented by Hard Rock Bet. And tonight's game will be against the Miami Heat. You can catch that on FanDuel Sports Network and the Magic Live pregame show at 6:30 p.m. on the app and on wherever you get FanDuel Sports Network, honestly. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about tonight's game. Every time I talk to someone, they said, oh, my God, I feel like we've been playing the Heat for 11 billion times. Once in regular season, twice in preseason. So, yes, this is the fourth time technically that they are going to see this team. But overall, looking at the Heat and their matchup and tonight's matchup,